He is now being accused of obstructing justice, witness tampering, and so forth.
Now, the issue with that is Diddy is currently locked up at NDC Brooklyn. He's been housed there since September.
But he could have got paid off. He could have got promised something, anything.
What happens is if people go into a trial believing the firepower on the prosecution is so strong, I mean, let's say on a scale of 1 to 100, it's a 95 that it's so strong, but it goes down to an 88.
Bill and Sade, accepting a plea agreement would mean that Sean Combs would have to admit to trafficking and force. And today he made it very clear that was not going to happen. Diddy maintained all along these encounters involved consenting adults and plans to take his chances that a jury agrees.
That helps the defense because everybody goes in thinking, wow, they're going to prove this, and they're going to prove this, and they're going to prove this, and all of a sudden, none of it's there. I think that actually helps the defense.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs back behind bars, a magistrate judge denying him bail, saying that there were no conditions that she could conceive of that would make her confident that he would appear again for other court appearances. The judge saying, my concern is this is a crime that happens behind closed doors.
The last hearing before Sean Combs' trial starts, when he walked into federal court today, he appeared to be looking for his family. They've pretty much been at all of the hearings that I've been to, but there was no presence of his sons or his mother or his sister who had previously been at those hearings.
Mr. Combs feels A, he's innocent, which is why he's not going to plead guilty. B, he's going to be truthful about this case because he wants to portray that to the people who have loved him his whole life. And I think he also feels an obligation to people in general. Maybe it's black people, maybe it's white people, maybe it's anybody who's ever felt aggrieved and targeted by the government. He feels an obligation to those people to say, you know what, maybe I can break the model.
What happens when one of the most powerful figures in music finds himself not just on trial, but unraveling in real time? The Diddy trial isn't just a legal proceeding, it's a full-blown spectacle. Explosive accusations, courtroom chaos, and a judge who's clearly running out of patience. Witness tampering, perjury, and obstruction of justice? That's not just media hype. That's what's officially being thrown on the record, and behind closed doors, rumors are swirling that if this keeps up, Diddy might not just lose the case, he might lose his freedom for good. The trial began like any other, but what happened inside Judge Subramanian's courtroom has now changed the stakes entirely. The system isn't just investigating what Diddy did in the past, it's reacting in real time to what he's allegedly doing now. And it's not going well. This isn't just a scandal, it's a collapse in slow motion.
You know, maybe I can show the world that a black man can win, you know, in federal court. And I think he probably is the only person I know of who might be able to actually accomplish that.
The fallout is far from over. Thursday, May 8, 2025. What was supposed to be a quiet pre-trial hearing transformed into a legal earthquake. Judge Subramanian presided over what was meant to be the final stage of jury selection, but instead of confirming the panel, the court was rocked by new evidence that Diddy, real name Sean Combs, may have committed perjury. The issue? Witness tampering. Prosecutors alleged that Combs had contacted individuals involved in the case, despite swearing under oath that he had not. And then the real kicker, one of the jurors selected for the pool turned out to work at MDC Brooklyn, the very detention facility where Diddy's been held since September 2024. The courtroom reacted with audible shock.
At trial, Combs will ditch the jail garb and wear ordinary clothes, as his lawyers argue the evidence shows consenting adults being intimate in their own way.
Was this a coincidence or something more sinister? The judge immediately dismissed the juror and reprimanded both legal teams for their failure to vet candidates properly. But the damage was already done. Suddenly, a routine hearing turned into a moment of reckoning. This wasn't just sloppy, it smelled like manipulation. The prosecution wasted no time outlining what they described as a pattern of deception. At its core, phone records. Diddy, they claimed, had used the phone accounts of at least 8 other inmates at MDC Brooklyn to make unauthorized calls. In some instances, these were three-way calls to individuals not on his approved contact list. According to investigators, the objective was clear: reach out to potential witnesses, influence their testimony, and craft a narrative favorable to his defense. However, that's not just a violation of prison policy, it's a federal offense.
Do you still think that, because there is this public perception, that there are celebrity tapes involved in this case?
No.
Do you still think that there are minors involved in this case?
Lying under oath about it exacerbates the situation. Prosecutors allege that Combs repeatedly denied these contacts during prior bail hearings, even as they now present compelling evidence to the contrary. One of the key contacts? Kena Harper, a former associate, allegedly contacted 128 times in just 4 days. All of this while Diddy was behind bars, supposedly awaiting trial. It's not just legally reckless, it's bold, and the court is losing patience, quickly. The name Kena Harper may not mean much to the general public, but in this case, she is central. According to court filings, Diddy contacted her 58 times between September 10 and 14th, right after a lawsuit from singer Dawn Richard was filed.
Mogul Sean Diddy Combs, currently at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. He's awaiting trial on charges including sexual assault and sex trafficking.
The nature of those calls? Allegedly manipulative. Prosecutors claim Diddy tried to convince Harper to support his version of events, dangling friendship, emotional pleas, and veiled financial incentives. One message, paraphrased by the prosecution, read like a psychological trap. Tell them we both know what happened. Don't let them twist it. In their view, this wasn't a desperate man reaching out to a friend. It was a calculated attempt to rewrite history. Harper reportedly cut off contact after the 4th day, possibly realizing the legal minefield she was walking into. However, the damage was already done. To the court, it looked like tampering. To the public, it appeared to reflect desperation. And to the judge, it provided a reason to escalate. Judge Subramanian didn't mince words. In a rare and dramatic courtroom moment, he referred the matter of Diddy's conduct to federal prosecutors for possible perjury and obstruction charges. This action is not standard protocol, it's a declaration of war. Additionally, he revoked several procedural privileges from Diddy's legal team, citing what he called a pattern of deception and disrespect.
A lawsuit filed against Sean Diddy Combs accuses the music performer and executive of rape, physical abuse, and sex trafficking. The singer Cassie says the incidents occurred throughout her 10-year relationship with Combs.
Legal experts say this is a nearly unprecedented move in a trial of this scale. The judge emphasized that no one, regardless of fame or power, has the right to manipulate the judicial system. The courtroom was stunned. What had begun as a straightforward case was now morphing into something larger, a battle over the integrity of the court itself. Suddenly, Diddy wasn't just facing charges for what happened in the past. He was being judged for what he was allegedly doing in the present. The message was clear. If you try to play the system will play back. And now, the stakes have doubled. These new revelations echoed prior claims made by Diddy's former executive assistant, Philip Pines. In a separate lawsuit, Pines painted a disturbing picture of Diddy's behind-the-scenes behavior. He claimed that he was coerced into sexual acts at private parties, dubbed freak-offs, to prove his loyalty. However, Pines didn't stop there. He described a lifestyle steeped in drugs, manipulation, and control. Candles, incense, and baby oil created a twisted atmosphere designed to disarm and dominate. Pines stated he was responsible for cleaning up, removing evidence, deleting videos, and paying off hotel staff. And now, with prosecutors accusing Diddy of manipulating witnesses, the parallels are chilling. It suggests a broader strategy, not just isolated incidents, one where power was exercised behind closed doors and extended all the way to the courtroom. For many, following the case, Pines' account used to seem extreme. But now, it looks eerily consistent with what prosecutors are accusing Diddy of doing from jail. The pattern is forming, and it's damning.
Her suit was filed under a law that allows alleged sexual offense victims to file past the statute of limitations. Cassie says she wanted to speak out before that law expires next week.
If things weren't bad enough, enter Courtney Burgess, a man who claims to possess tapes of Diddy and other celebrities engaged in disturbing acts, including with underage individuals. In a News Nation interview, Burgess called Diddy Lucifer and alleged that several people in the tapes had been drugged. Diddy immediately fired back with a $50 million defamation suit. However, the court of public opinion had already ignited. Burgess's claims come on top of other lawsuits involving names like Odell Beckham Jr. and comedian Drewski, both accused of involvement in a 2018 gang assault. While those figures have denied the claims, the overlap creates a spiderweb of allegations, one where Diddy isn't the only one under scrutiny, but he's certainly the centerpiece. As the trial moves forward, prosecutors now have to navigate a narrative that spans decades, industries, and reputations. Whether all the claims hold up or not, one thing's clear: the jury will be walking into a storm that extends far beyond one man's actions.
Mr. Combs has denied all the allegations. For more, let's bring in entertainment attorney Dante Mills. So, Dante, thanks for being with us. Cassie has signed with that label when she was just 19, and Sean Combs was 37. What's alleged to have happened after that?
Thank you for having me, Catherine. So in this lawsuit, I just wanted to be clear, this is a civil lawsuit.
Diddy's legal dream team, Mark Agnafilo, Tenny Garagos, Alexander Shapiro, and Anna Estvow, is now in damage control mode. Judge Subramanian's revocation of procedural privileges wasn't merely symbolic. It restricts their capacity to file motions, contest evidence, and dictate the trial's pace. For a case this complex, that's catastrophic. And the credibility hit, even worse. When a judge openly questions your client's honesty before the trial even begins, it poisons the well. Now they are scrambling to prepare opening statements in an environment of heightened scrutiny. And with testimony expected from multiple accusers, each portraying Diddy as a manipulative, coercive figure, the defense is cornered. How do you challenge a mountain of emotional testimony, alleged physical evidence, and a judge who thinks your client lied to him? There's no easy answer. The courtroom has transformed from a venue for justice into a battleground for survival. And Diddy's side isn't just losing ground, they're running out of weapons. This trial was always going to be high stakes, but now it is transformed into something far more consequential. It is a test, not just of Diddy's innocence, but of whether influence, money, and manipulation can still bend the court system. Judge Subramanian's actions sent a clear message. Not this time. The referral for perjury, the revoked privileges, the public condemnation. This isn't business as usual, it's accountability with teeth. For the alleged victims watching from afar, it may finally feel like their voices are being heard. As the opening statements draw near, all eyes are on the Manhattan courtroom. The prosecution senses an opportunity. The defense is on the ropes. And Diddy? He's no longer just a music mogul. He's a man whose empire is being dissected piece by piece, one courtroom bombshell at a time. This isn't merely a legal drama. It's a reckoning. And the ending? Still unwritten.